So, if you're not already familiar with limerence, limerence has a massive impact specifically on insecurely attached attachment styles or love styles. And essentially, what limerence is it's like extreme infatuation. Now, limerence, just like anything else, exists along a continuum. Low level limerence can just feel like it's something kind of disruptive to your life where you really infatuate and fixate on somebody and obsess about them and maybe check their social media quite frequently and build this fantasy bond with them. But in more extreme cases of limerence, we can see, violating people's boundaries. I've worked with people in the past who were really on the cusp of stalking people because of such extreme limerent feelings they were having towards somebody, showing up at their house unannounced, even though the person said they no longer wanted to be with them. Like really, moving into quite dicey territory in terms of how strong and overpowering limerence can be with different individuals. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about major causes of limerence, and I'll be doing a series here where we will also talk about the limerent experience as a DA versus an FA versus an AP, and how to pay attention to some of these different dynamics, and also what to do if limerence for you is something that has become unhealthy. So, first and foremost, one of the biggest signs of limerence is just having extreme feelings for somebody. And generally, these extreme feelings may even be for somebody you don't know that well. You even haven't met for certain individuals and attachment styles. But as a general rule, it will be intense and extreme infatuation towards somebody that can actually be quite disruptive to life. So, sign number one is you're in that. You have those feelings. And on one side, it can feel a little bit euphoric and exciting. But if we're actually looking at the costs of being in a state of limerence, it can distract you from life. It can cause you to sabotage other areas of life. It can cause you to not really pay attention or be present or focused. It can cause you to fixate on somebody so much without actually building like a deep connection with them in real time or with somebody else in real time. So essentially, it's almost robbing you of potential connection in the present or in the future. Anyways, that's big sign number one. Sign number two is it may actually cause you to lose your appetite. You may struggle with eating because you're sort of like you've got butterflies in your stomach all day. You're fantasizing so frequently. It can even disrupt your sleep. In extreme, not even extreme cases, in like middle of the road cases, people really in a state of limerence may dream about their object of limerence, may really like just be thinking about them 24/7, talking about them 24/7. So we'll see those patterns of disruption that are really characterized as point number two. Point number three, there's always some kind of attempt to get closer to the object of limerence, right? And the object of limerence really just means the person that you're so infatuated with. And this can be, again, sort of like I was talking about earlier, constantly checking their social media, asking people you know who know them all about them, or about their dating life or relationships, finding ways of like trying to cross paths with them or bump into them or some of these sorts of dynamics, but maybe even without actually connecting with them and building a bond or relationship to them, or doing things that accidentally violate their boundaries, like over texting them, over calling them if this is somebody you know or are getting to know. And so you may find some of those dynamics there taking place. By the way, if you are struggling with this and you're like, I want to get to the bottom of this and fix this, limerence can also be something that prevents us from moving on from exes from the past or people that we were starting to date and we're really like latched onto at a subconscious level. There's very specific reasons for why this happens. If this does sound like you and you actually want to heal it and go underneath there, we have a whole course all about overcoming limerence, with important exercises, tips, tools that are really designed to shift you out of limerence and move the needle in a very short period of time so that you can get your peace of mind back and your focus back and actually stop robbing yourself of connection in the present or future by being attached to somebody that may actually not be healthy for you right now. Um, so you can check that course out for free for 7 days using the link down below. Our next big piece here is finding yourself really connecting in the fantasy world. Now, this is something that's so interesting, especially after like a breakup or if we have a relationship on the rocks and then it's not working out, or we've started to date somebody and then there's sort of these downsides, is that connecting in the fantasy, you actually can have a harder time healing from in certain ways than with an actual breakup. And the reason for this is because the fantasy world you have full control over. So if you're just getting to know somebody and you're really limerent around them, then what's then going to likely end up happening is you build this idea of the perfect person in your eyes. They usually in this fantasy world have all these traits that you've projected onto them, even if they're not even traits that this person may have, but you're sort of imagining them to have all these traits. They meet all these needs of yours in the fantasy world. And so they can sort of be this idealized or like perfect person in the fantasy world, which means when you're trying to heal from that, first of all, it's hard to heal from somebody that you have just projected all these ideas onto, and you're essentially healing from the breakup with the fantasy image of that person, which can just be trickier. And again, that course covers like why and how to do that work. But sometimes when you have this really rich fantasy world with somebody, breaking up with that has its own unique challenges. So I have some exciting news, which is that we are doing $1,000 off of our lifetime membership sale to the Personal Development School, which means you get access to literally everything at PDS for your entire rest of your life. Essentially, that entails all of our different courses you have lifetime access to. I do 4 live webinars a week, every single week. You can access them ongoing, and you get access to all of our daily community events. So I'd love to see you on the other side, and you can access it by using the link in the description box below. And point number 5 here is you may find yourself when you're actually around this person or in close quarters, or maybe you come into contact with them, that you might find yourself just freezing, like not knowing what to say, not feeling comfortable being yourself. And part of this is because usually when you're in a state of limerence, you've put somebody on such a strong pedestal. And the secret key ingredients here are that the reason you put this person on a pedestal is because in your fantasy realm, you've imagined them to be the person who meets all of your deeply unmet needs, usually from childhood, believe it or not. And you projected all of these traits onto them that you are not taking ownership within yourself. From a shadow work point of view, it's called your golden shadow. And so there's this dynamic of you often being in a position where you're going, oh, um, this person has these traits that I feel like I'm out of relationship to in myself. And until you really empower and recondition those traits and take ownership of them within yourself, either behaviorally, perceptually, or both, you will keep projecting them onto this person, and you'll keep trying to attach to those traits through this person in the external world. So it's a really interesting thing that the subconscious mind does, and there's specific reasons for this. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this helps you understand limerence a little bit better and whether or not you might be experiencing limerence. We will talk about attachment styles and limerence and sort of breaking it down based on each attachment style or love style. If you are new to this channel and you enjoyed this video, please check out other videos on this channel. We have so many videos about integrated attachment theory, which is really the new attachment theory, the subconscious mind, relationships, limerence, attraction, all these different dynamics. And I put out content literally every single day. So if you're interested in learning more, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a daily video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.